in the interviews, one of my favorite question also is to ask an open-ended question towards to the interviewee on what are the various hyperparameters that they are aware of when it comes to text mining. It could be with respect to data cleansing, or it could be with respect to actually doing any of the analysis. It could be pertaining to word cloud. It could be pertaining to emotion mining, whatnot. So, would you like to throw some light on that, Sharon?
Yes, Bharani. Yeah. So to start with, we have regular expression. That is one of the most important libraries, which will be used with respect to analyzing the string data. It is one of the most important and readily available package with respect to Anaconda installation. And with respect to the formatting, right? RE package comes with a bunch of functionalities with it. Ultimately, we are trying to clean the unwanted data. It could be numbers, it could be punctuation marks, it could be special symbols, it could be, in fact, changing the data from one case to another case. So all these kind of string manipulations can be done using the library called RE. Then we also use another very important library, which is called as NLTK. NLTK is Natural Language Toolkit. And this library is again a book in itself. The best way to learn these libraries is to go to the official documentation of the libraries. For example, in NLTK, it's an open source library, and you will be able to see all sort of functionalities with respect to NLTK in the official documentation of it. It would basically be nltk.org, right? It's as simple as that. And with respect to the NLTK library, we'll have a huge list of libraries that we can see. Let me show my screen. So this is something that I was trying to show you previously also. These are some of the libraries that we will be using. RE, as I just explained, it is the regular expression. Then we talk about NLTK. NLTK contains again, an ocean of plethora of things. And I was speaking about this library. This is the documentation, official documentation for your NLTK website, library, sorry. And you can try and learn different things with respect to implementation of NLTK. Now you can see here, we will be using readily available dictionaries. We have to download and update these dictionaries regularly, because it is an open source. We never know the package or the dictionary can be updated regularly. So it's always good to have the latest of the dictionary updated. This can be used for tokenizing your words. So NLTK will have this specific dictionary called punctuations basically. And when you execute these things, right? So for example, I'll show you. I will try and execute the library here. I'll just try and copy this. Okay, let me just otherwise type in. So we are trying to take this NLTK library. I'll say import NLTK. I've imported this library, and I'll say NLTK dot download. I'll use the same library. And when I do this, it basically says that the library is up to date. You can see here. Right? So when you update your dictionaries or packages, right, you need to carefully observe where is this getting updated. It clearly shows the folder as well, that this is the location where your data is getting dumped. Right? So you would probably go to that particular folder. Let me go to my users folder. This is the folder that my system has. And from here, I will go to app data roaming. So here I will search for app data. Okay, am I in the correct folder? So as is app data, yes, I'll have to search for that. Yeah, this is app data. Under that, you will have roaming. Under this, you will have a lot of libraries that get updated. We are talking about NLTK data. Right? So this is the location where your punctuation folder is also updated here. So this is your folder, NLTK. Under this, we are talking about punctuation. So we will have any chunkers, named entity chunkers. With respect to that, this is the folder which gets downloaded. It's a saved model. It contains the trained, basically the details. And this is your WordNet. You can see all these are pre-loaded, right? Stop words, for example. All these are getting updated in your system. This is for your tagging. Perceptron tagger. This is for, again, the POS tagging, parts of speech tagging. Then we have tokenizers. This is the folder where your library just got updated. It contains multiple languages. We are specifically working with English language. And you can see this is pickle file. And these basically are nothing but trained models. So people who do research, people who have the access to all the data, right? They could be coming from university, or they could be coming from different organizations who basically do this research, who have good funding. They keep training these algorithms and then they save it and they push it. It's an open source, right? So anybody can do it. And this punctuation library is also getting regularly updated. So that is how we need to try and understand with respect to your libraries. We also have the stop words. I just have shown you the stop words. NLTK tokenize. These are different tokenizers. We have stemming. This is another functionality with respect to performing the stemming on our data set. Text data, basically. We also have something called as WordNet lematizer. This WordNet lematizer would again use the WordNet dictionary by default, or you can also customize your dictionary. Okay, so from WordNet, it tries to look into the words which are readily available and it tries to lematize the data. Then this is named entity recognition. NE chunker basically is identifying whether a specific keyword is a noun. If it is a noun, what is that? Is it to be classified as an organization? Is it to be classified as a location? Is it to be classified as a name of a person? Is it to be classified as a date or proportions or numbers? So there are certain named entities predefined. Again, it uses a predefined dictionary. Using that predefined dictionary, there are two types of dictionaries. One is small one is the big one. Depending on what you want to achieve, you can load those dictionaries and then try to use this named entity chunker to get your text keywords or tokens identified. So this, whenever you say download, that means we are trying to download the dictionary. We also have sentence tokenizers. Sentence tokenizers means it will try and split your entire text data into sentences, not into words. Right? So that is your sentence tokenizer. Then we have word sense disambiguation. WSD is one of the complicated functionalities that you can see, because in English, we will see that a specific word can mean multiple things, right? A same word might have different meanings in different contexts. So if you don't understand the true meaning, then there is no point of analyzing the information out of that, right? You probably will go wrong if you take a different meaning altogether for your word. So word sense disambiguation is a functionality. Again, it uses predefined dictionaries to ensure that the true meaning for the word can be understood based on other words which are giving the context for that particular word. And we also have n-grams. As I explained, n-grams basically means how many words we are taking in one sense, I mean, one time. By default, it is 1 gram, that is a single word token. But we can also go for 2 words, that is bigram, or 3 words taken together, which is trigram. But beyond that, we don't go generally, but we can go for any number of words being constantly or used regularly together. But as and how we increase the number of words, the consistency of the same sequence being referred is not available, right? I mean, we'll not see regular usage like that. Then we also have additional libraries, not just NLTK. We have many other libraries. Autocorrect is one such library, which is very handy in doing spell checks. Then like NLTK, we also have text blob. It's basically reading the text data in blocks, binary blocks. Then we have feature extraction. This is basically to try and do vectorization, try to capture the tokens and then convert that into the weighted count. So those kind of functionalities can be done using feature extraction. TweePy is another very interesting library which is used for extracting the data from Twitter. And for doing that, you need to have the credentials. So TweePy allows us to authenticate the Twitter account from Python, and you'll be able to connect to Twitter and get the related data. This is used for, again, individual user analysis or service analysis, right? So based on what kind of content is being communicated from that particular organization, we will be able to extract and then do the analysis. Requests, generally, this is used while you are doing web scraping. Request is a library which allows the content to be communicated or extracted over HTTP or HTTPS protocols. Generally, these are the protocols which are used for your internet-based data, right? Every website will have HTTPS / right? So that is nothing but the address, URL. So request is a library which can allow us to understand that standard HTTP and HTTPS standard so that we will be able to decode and navigate to that location. Then we have BS4, which is a beautiful soup library. This is specifically used for scraping through HTML or XML content. So when you download the data from any website, 99% of those websites today are either written in HTML or XML languages, majority of them. So even now, this website that you see, if I click on right click and say view page source, you see HTML document, right? This is all the HTML code. So beautiful soup will allow us to extract all the important content from that HTML tags. That way, we will be able to extract what is relevant for us. But again, remember, these libraries will work only when the source will allow us to access the data, right? It's like, if I want to get into your house and take whatever I want, you need to allow me first, right? So if you don't allow me to enter into your house, then there is no point of talking about taking anything. So websites are like house, right? They are like homes. And websites, some websites are open to all, some websites are completely shut doors, closed doors. They don't allow people to get into those websites and all that. So depending on those conditions, we will be able to extract the data only when the source allows us. Remember this, very important. I see a question. Let me address that question before I move on. The question says, where will we get all the official documents for all the libraries? Now, if you're doing, if you are working on Python, right? Sorry, my bad. What is this? Yeah. So if you're working with Python programming language, then we will have a lot of softwares which are readily available. We call these softwares as packages. That is what we are talking about, right? All these packages are stored in a centralized repository, which is pypi.org. Okay, let me also navigate to that location and show you. So I'll say pypi.org. This is where all the packages are residing. You can see these are the number of projects, contributors, right? All these details are there. So these many Python packages are available. Some are official, some are not completely developed, right? So different levels of their packages are available. For example, if I say NLTK, I will do a search of NLTK library and you will be able to get the information about here, right? And the documentation related details can be seen here itself. Who is the author? What are the various details? What is the minimum requirement, right? What is the release version? All the information is readily available here in pypi.org, which is basically nothing but Python package index. So remember this website and just blindly come to this website if you want to learn about any package, right? All the details will be readily accessible from this location. If the documentation is available, you can directly read here. Otherwise, information about the official documentation will be given. So this is about the packages, friends. And there are many such libraries or packages. What I have shown you is some of the very, very mandatory and must-know packages for you all, right? And Word Cloud is basically the package which allows us to take all the tokens and arrange them randomly in a canvas, in a plot. And the only point you need to look at in Word Cloud is the font size of the words, which is directly proportional to the popularity of those words. And that popularity is captured by the frequency. So this is about the mandatory packages that you must learn.